Welcome to the Rewards Master, where we talk about all things points and miles, restaurant rewards, shopping portals, just all different ways that you can combine different advantages to be able to upgrade your life to the very most rewarding it can possibly be. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you'd take a minute to like the video and also subscribe to the channel, that helps the algorithm and we get more listeners and watchers that way. If you're tuning into the podcast today, then if you would both subscribe, follow the channel, and also give us a 5-star review, and that helps us out as well. Today we're going to do a review of a restaurant rewards program. And I love restaurant rewards programs because they kind of fly under the radar and people don't often think, even points and miles people, about how you can join those rewards together with your credit card rewards and sometimes with even a third app or a shopping portal or something of that nature. And then you can even have a triple dip on your points earning, which can bring you well over, we always think it's great if you get 3% or 4% or 5%. Well, with some of these, when you combine the restaurant with another application, along with using the right credit card, I've gotten 11, 12, 13%, 13 points. Now, it's across multiple issuers, so there are times I'm using a American Express card and getting those points, and I'm going through a portal like the MileagePlus X portal that gives me United points, and then I'm also getting points with the restaurant. So it's in a lot of different places. It's a little bit to keep track of, but wow, the benefit is just off the charts. It's out of this world. So today we're going to talk about a restaurant called O'Charley's. Now, O'Charley's, I don't know if they're in every part of the United States, but I've lived in a number of states and I've seen them in a lot of different places. So I think it's recognized as somewhat of a national chain. It would be similar to an Applebee's or a Chili's, that kind of cost and that kind of food. But O'Charley's, their reward program is frankly absolutely off the chart. Now, what I like to do when I'm looking at these restaurant rewards is I like to give them a grade. So I'm a professor, and so I have to grade a lot of papers. And so I'm used to kind of using that model of figuring out if something's quality or not. So I'm going to give the O'Charley's restaurant rewards a grade. Now, I've kind of divided this up into 4 basic categories that I'll examine in regard to restaurants. The first is the rewards program itself. Because if it has great food and all of this, but all you're able to do is swipe your card, well, that's nice. Particularly when you have a player two or spouse that maybe doesn't like some of those restaurants, which I run into sometimes. So you've got to examine, does this place have a rewards program that allows me to double or triple dip, which will give me outsized value or return? The second kind of area that we're going to look at is rewards partnerships. So not just do they have their own rewards program, but is there a third way that you can stack on top of it and get those triple rewards? The third thing we're going to look at is ease of use. Some of these programs, when you dive into their app, which is usually how you access the program, you give the server your phone number or you show them the app and they scan it, something like that. Well, how intuitive is the app? How easy is it to use? So to me, that's a very, very important category to examine. And then finally, we'll look at the restaurant itself. And this is very subjective. I eat out a lot, so I think I'm a pretty good judge of this. But we look at the restaurant and ask, how good a restaurant is it? I mean, is it comparable to others of its type? Is it good quality food? Is the service good? So food and beverage quality. So diving right in, when it comes to the O'Charley's reward program, in the first category of reward programs, I think that O'Charley's is off the charts. Now, when you look at their program, it is based on a little different system than most of the other restaurant rewards. So for instance, if you go to Chipotle and use their restaurant rewards, it's based upon how many dollars that you spend. That's true with Chili's, that's true with Outback, that's true with Applebee's, that's true with a lot of them. But here with O'Charley's, it's not about how much money you spend, it's about how many visits you've had, how many times you've bought something there. Now, that can be both better and it can be worse, kind of depending on your circumstance. So, O'Charlie's is really good if you spend very little. I mean, your value is just incredibly high if you don't spend a lot. So I use O'Charlie's typically for lunch. It's right on my way to my office. In fact, the time it takes them to prepare it is almost exactly the amount of time it takes me to drive there on the way to the office. So I'll stop by oftentimes and pick up my lunch. They have it right there and ready. They bring it right out to my car. I've already paid for it and I go. And when you look at their program, with the fact that it gives you rewards based on how many times you've went, if you do it strategically, it's probably not the best rewards if you're taking your whole family and have a $100 or $120 bill. It's not going to be the most rewarding thing. But if you're going and just getting your lunch, or maybe you're going Dutch with somebody and you're going to lunch somewhere and yours is the only one covered, if you do it that way, I think you'll see the outsized value is just phenomenal when it comes to O'Charlie's. So it changes. Now, one of my complaints about their rewards program, and this is the only reason that I'm not going to give them an A+, is because it's kind of hard to find the baseline of how many times you got to go. It seems like it always changes. And I've been using this for months and months and months, and I can't find any rhyme or reason. Sometimes you get a reward after you go 3 times. Sometimes you get a reward after you go 5 times. So that's really the major downside to the reward program is, am I going to get my reward? Now, I'll tell you right there in the app, you got 2 or 3 or 4 visits left before you get your next reward and what that reward's going to be. But they change up how often you have to go. So I've never seen it more than 5. I've seen it as low as 3. So you either go 3 or 4 or 5 times and you're going to receive the reward. Now, the other part that's kind of dynamic in this as well is what your reward's going to be. Sometimes the reward is $5. Sometimes the reward might be $7. And kind of the most I've ever seen it is $10. And then sometimes they'll throw in like an extra appetizer or a drink or something like that. But for the most part, it's either $5, $7, or $10. And neither of those things are very easy to predict. How many visits? Is it going to be 3, 4, or 5? How much am I going to get? 5, 7, or 10? It's kind of all over the map, which is the one fairly significant downside of the program. However, when you look at the program as a whole, and if you're using it strategically and not spending hundreds of dollars on there, you get the same return, whether it's $5, $7, or $10, if you spend $3 or if you spend $300 at each of those 3, 4, or 5 visits. So on the $300 end, it's not very good. But on the $3 end, wow, it's unbelievable. Now, this really is great when you put it together with some of their daily specials. So pretty much every Monday, now I'll miss some if I'm out of town traveling or whatever, but pretty much every Monday, I get my lunch, which is their chicken nachos. They're normally $11.99, and they run a daily special on Mondays of those chicken nachos for $5. And it's plenty for lunch. I mean, it's a big plate that's normally a shareable appetizer. $5. And so I'll order that. I'll pay through the app. And if you think about even going 5 times, you're going to get a minimum of a $5 back on O'Charlie's purchases. And a few times I've had it where I go 3 times and I get $5 back, or sometimes $10 back. And it's absolutely, if you look at the return on spend, it's incredible. So recently I ordered $5 nachos 3 weeks in a row. So I spent a total of $15. I picked it up, now tax on top of that, of course, but I picked it up on my way to the office. It wasn't an inconvenience at all. It took me about a minute and a half to order in the app, and then I just had to wait, and it's within a minute. You text them, I'm here, and they bring it right out to the car. So I spent that tiny amount of time. I went 3 weeks in a row, got a good lunch for $5, spent a total of $15, and they gave me a $10 reward after spending $15. Now think about that. $10 reward, I spent $15. That's 66%. 66%. Not counting that I was getting points, and we'll talk about that in a minute, with my credit card, not counting that I was getting points with the different portal, the MileagePlus X from United portal I was using. So 66% back. Now, it's not always that good, but it's always like at least 20% if I'm not buying large purchases, if I'm buying small purchases. So on the rewards program, they would get an A+, but I'm going to give it an A- only because you just can't predict exactly what the reward is that you're going to earn. That takes us to the second category, and that is rewards partnerships. Now, like I said, this is is there a way that you can triple dip? Use your card, get their rewards, and also use another portal or some other program or some other app to be able to get outsized value in addition to that. And they are a partner with the United MileagePlus X app, which I've talked about before. I'll talk about it again. It is one of my very, very favorite means of getting outsized value. So on the MileagePlus X app, MileagePlus X gives a certain amount of United miles when you make purchases through the app. And how that works is you put in your credit card, you choose the restaurant you want, you put in an amount, and I usually do it for exactly the amount. So if it's $6.05, I put in $6.05. You hit, I want to purchase it now, and it takes about 20 seconds, and immediately it charges your credit card the amount, and immediately it comes up right there on your phone, a gift certificate, a digital gift certificate that you just show them at the restaurant. But with O'Charlie's, if you're ordering on the app, I just type that gift certificate into the app and it's all done. It's all taken care of. Now, like I said, MileagePlus X gives a different amount depending on which restaurant, and it's listed right there in the app. But O'Charlie's gets one of the highest ones. They give 5 United miles per dollar. Now, it codes with Citibank, because I always use my Citi Prestige card, which gives me 5 Citi points per dollar. It codes as a restaurant. I have found that if you're using American Express cards, and this is a bummer because one of the best dining cards that there is the American Express Gold card, that it won't code. It'll code as a gift card and you'll get 1 point. But if you have a card where it codes as a restaurant, you're getting that restaurant multiplier in addition to the, at O'Charlie's especially, 5 United miles per dollar. Plus, you're getting that 1 visit towards your 3, 4, or 5 visits you've got to go in order to receive O'Charlie's rewards back. It is absolutely wonderful. So when it comes to being a part of United Plus, the other thing about United Plus X app is if you have a United credit card, which I always have one, is you get a 25% bonus. So you're not just getting 5, you're getting over 6 points United miles per dollar on your purchase at O'Charlie's. So this is just an absolute A. So I give the rewards partnership section to O'Charlie's, the app, as an absolute A, because to not only have MileagePlus X as a partner, but also to get the max, which is every now and again you'll find higher than 5, but at restaurants pretty much 5 is the most you'll get. And then being able to put that together with your credit card rewards and also with their rewards program, you can triple dip and get amazing outsized value. So I give them an A in the rewards partnership. Now, ease of use. The app is very intuitive. It's very easy to use. As I said, you get on there and you can make your order. They'll immediately send you a text message and they say, we're working on it. As soon as you get here, type here and we'll bring it out. And in my experience, I type here and I can count to 60. It can be less than 1 minute and they're already walking my lunch out to my car. So the ease of use. When you put in one of those MileagePlus gift cards, you just on the checkout page, how do you want to pay? You hit O'Charlie's gift card and then you just put in. So I'm usually, when I'm ordering, I order my food, get to the final checkout page, go over to the MileagePlus X app, order a gift card for exactly the amount, and then go back and enter that gift card number. And it takes me less than a minute to do all of that. And it's right there and it's done. I don't pay anything at the restaurant. They bring it right out to my car. So as far as, and a lot of these restaurant apps are much more difficult to use in that way. I won't point out in this video which ones are, but some of them are a real pain, almost so much that I don't want to use it, even though I love restaurant rewards. But when it comes to the O'Charlie's app, it's a winner. So I give them an A in ease of use. Now, the final question, food and beverage quality. Now, O'Charlie's, their menu is kind of typical American fare. You can get a burger at lunch or sandwiches or a salad. They have at dinner time, they have a really good sirloin steak that I've ordered there before. And I would say the quality is kind of similar to Applebee's and similar to Chili's and some of their main competitors, just in those kind of American chain family restaurants. So I've had some really good meals there. Like I said, their steak was great the last time I had it. Many times I've ordered what they call this honey drizzled southern fried chicken dish. It's like a fried chicken breast, and they put this honey drizzle sauce on it. It's really outstanding. The prices are kind of typical. Something like that's like $12, 11 or $12. Steak is like $18. So those are kind of typical prices for those type of restaurants. But I mean, it's not the very best food that I ever get. And even if I'm going to go get a steak, it's a good steak, but there's some steakhouses that are better. So I think a fair grade in regard to food and beverage quality is a solid B. Now, when you add all of that together, the final grade averaged out for O'Charlie's as far as restaurant rewards is a A-. And that is just off the charts. And so I hope that if you have an O'Charlie's in your area, that you will both download the MileagePlus X app, because it is outstanding. And there's so many. You don't just use the MileagePlus X for restaurants. I mean, you can get extra points at Walmart. You can get extra points at the movie theater, 5 miles per dollar, plus the bonus for having a Chase United card at the movie theater. I mean, all of these things. The MileagePlus X is out of this world. It's an A+. It's the very best of the best. But you can put that together with O'Charlie's and get a return that is out of this world, sometimes over 66%. When you add in those credit card points and all that's like 70% back. It's almost free to eat there if you do it right. So A-, solid program. And so I hope that if you haven't downloaded MileagePlus X, if there's an O'Charlie's in your area and you haven't downloaded their app, that you'll start taking advantage of this, because wow, you can get such incredible value when you put those three things together. So go out and triple dip. Have a great day.